All right, this is one of a series of Wednesday night group DVDs, and it happens to be Wednesday night, and this is our garage school, so you have a chance actually to see it. One of the things people have been interested in, we have had some DVDs done by Jeremy Lynch, and then I've got some on other companies, but people are curious about Jeet Kune Do footwork, and so this particular DVD will be concerned with Jeet Kune Do footwork. Okay, one of the basic ideas is we only really have two stances in Jeet Kune Do. There's a natural stance and then there's a ready stance called the Baijong stance. Now when I was studying Kung Fu, or what was called at that time Wushu in Taiwan, we learned many different stances. What Bruce Lee did was to simplify, to take the idea of basically one fighting stance and one natural stance. Now the purpose of a natural stance is, the idea is that if someone is in front of you in a confrontation with you, you don't want to give them information, you do not want to look aggressive. So the main idea in Jeet Kune Do is we stand with our strong hand and our strong leg forward to be able to intercept our opponent's attack. The same with a natural stance. We'll just stand naturally talking to someone. We may have our hands here, we may have our hands like this, saying, please don't come any closer. Besides that, then we're working on what's called the fighting measure, and I'm going to explain that in a little while. But from this natural stance, I can move forward, I can move back, I can move to the left, and I can move to the right. So the idea is I can move in any direction, but I do not want to give information out that says that I am being aggressive. Mainly for witnesses, because one of the ideas, I may just come like that, please don't come any closer, and he'll accidentally run into my finger jab to his eyes, very accidentally. So one of the things we want to do is to talk about the Baijong stance. Now I've seen that done two different ways in Jeet Kune Do, and a lot of times there's many arguments on internet forums about which is the correct way. One of the ways is you have the toe on the line and the heel on the line. And if I could just borrow one person, let me borrow Young for a second here, to get an idea. So if he is standing over here and he is a toe to heel stance, okay, toe to heel so that it's even there, he has a kind of a strong base, a strong base. The other way, to stay there a second, the other way is that you see is having the toe to arch. And a lot of times people will say this is a good way to move, and it is. It's not a bad way to move. So if he's toe to arch, the idea is he doesn't quite have a strong enough base, and you can test that on your own there, okay? So that's one idea behind that. But some people say that by having the toe to arch stance, you have a little bit more mobility. You can move a little bit quicker. So what I want everybody to do is don't take anybody's word for it. Try both ways. I don't find that there's that much difference in either way. So it doesn't matter if you're toe to heel or toe to arch. What does matter is how wide the stance is. A lot of times you say, well, how wide should a stance be? You'll see people standing with their stance like this, which is a good, strong stance, but they've lost one aspect of mobility. What they've lost is the ability, I can go back here to this red mark. What you want to do is you want to be able to step out with your front foot and still be in balance. The idea is by doing this, I can measure off, let's say, a straight lead punch that way. So the idea is, if my stance is too long, I've lost the ability to do that. So I've lost a basic attack method, which is using the lead step. So the stance should be wide enough that I can step forward at least 6 to 8 inches and not be off balance. So if I'm in a wide stance like this, all of a sudden I'm off balance. I want to be able to move forward and then recover, all right? The other idea is that the lead foot, the rear foot, should be at a 45-degree angle. Now, some guys you'll see will have the foot this way, which looks like a fencer, and there's nothing wrong with that, but that's usually from a distance. What we want to do when we get into how to throw the lead punch is we want to be able to twist to get the power onto the front leg. before we get into how to do the lead step 3 ways, I need to explain the fighting measure. The fighting measure is the distance I want to have between myself and my opponent. What we believe is, in Jeet Kune Do, our main defense is the name of the art, the way of the intercepting fist. We want to be able to intercept our opponent's attack. Now, I have seen 3 different fighting measures taught in Jeet Kune Do, and I think you should try both of them and figure out which way to use and which when to use them, when not to use it, etc. The first one is the one we use a lot. If Nyon's standing there, what I want to do is I want to be outside of his full extension of his finger jab. That's by twisting his rear foot, so he's a little bit further. That's about where I want to be. So now, to touch me with a hand, he has to step towards me, which allows me to intercept his attack. So from here again, he steps forward, I intercept his attack. Now, if he kicks with his rear leg to my leg here, he's just going to touch me with the toes of his foot, all right? That's the first fighting measure. So if he was to kick me with his rear leg, I would move forward to try to intercept it, all right? Some guys find that's a little bit too close, so that their fighting measure will be so when the rear leg kick comes in, it'll just miss the leg. So that to touch me, he's going to have to step forward with his front foot, which gives me time to intercept his attack. So that's one fighting measure. A lot of guys want to be even further, because what they're going to do is, as somebody moves towards them, they're going to really intercept with a side kick. So they want that further distance. So it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. If you're a guy who likes to use his kick a lot for interception, you may want to have a further distance. If you want to use a hand for intercepting, you want to have a closer distance. The distance is going to be up to you, and the footwork is the way you control that distance. The whole idea of controlling the distance is footwork. Controlling the distance to defend, controlling the distance to attack. So one of the reasons for having the heel up also is from here, I can get as he comes towards me, I can get a pop and get my stop kick in. So this is the piston that controls the stepping forward. It controls a step back on that.